think the Saudi League is not worse than France League, to be in my opinion. In France League, I think you have 2-3 teams with a good level.
I love to be here. I love to be with you guys, and I want to play for you. So don't be sad because I'm sad too.
Whew, today we have some exciting news, and it's mainly about one man today. And that man is Ronaldo, with either some outrageous statements saying he'll play for the next 10 years, or even saying the French League is not as good as the Saudi League.
In French League, I think you have 2-3 teams with a good level. In Saudi now, I think it's a more competitive. They can say whatever they want, it's just my opinion, and I played there 1 year, so I know what I'm talking about.
He's basically saying it's more competitive. I mean, let's compare the teams. I mean, he's not wrong with the competitiveness, because PSG is currently first with 43 points.
So I know what I'm talking about.
And then it's basically like second from all the way to 8th. It's like pretty close on points, you would say. You have like Nice, Monaco, Lille, Rennes, Marseille. Maybe 5 teams, but at the moment, I guess Lille aren't performing, Monaco aren't performing, Marseille are definitely not performing. So, I mean, really, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, but like...
So I know what I'm talking about.
And a massive shock is Lyon is in the relegation. All right, so let's now look at the Saudis. Al Hilal is on 53 points. Who are currently first, beating Al Nassr, and Al Nassr on 46 points. I mean, he's got a point. It is kind of head-to-head. And then Al Ahly Saudi, I don't know how to pronounce the third one, but they're basically on 40 points. I mean, based on points, it seems like the French League, except for first place, is just more competitive. Like, it's more competitive for like the whole... You know, who's going to come second, third, fourth, like top 6 sort of thing. Where in the Saudi Arabian League, it's literally based on they're like got more points separated. So I'm going to say, I think the French League is more competitive, going based of literally just looking at the tables and points. I mean, I don't even know half of these teams. I only know the top 2, which was Al Hilal, who were going to sign Messi, and then obviously Al Nassr, who signed Ronaldo. So the real question is, leave it down below. Who do you think is better? The French League or the Saudi League? Okay, now let's move on to Ronaldo saying he's going to play for the next 10 years.
When I finish, I don't know, to be honest. But, of course, will be soon. Soon, I mean 10 years more, but I'm joking.
At this point, I believe him, because the guy works bloody hard. He's like 50 years old and still training at like 1 a.m. in the gym by himself. But I mean, really, it goes down to, I think he wants to play with his son. So that's why he's going to try and play as long as possible. I mean, this is all speculation, but I think that's the main reason. Moving on from that, and we're not moving on from talking about Ronaldo, because he did another thing this week. Ronaldo came out of an interview after his awards and basically said, you know, all of the major awards have lost their credibility. So this is the last, and now this is the last piece of news for the video about Ronaldo.
I love to be here. I love to be with you guys, and I want to play for you. So don't be sad because I'm sad too.
And Chinese fans absolutely hate Ronaldo right now for doing this. Basically, Ronaldo spoke out to say very nicely that he's injured. So what did the fans decide to do? Crowd the Al Nassr Hotel. And it wasn't just a couple hundred people, it was in the thousands. The African nations. So if you've been watching this, great. If you haven't, I suggest you do. Because we're now in the round of 16 of the African nations. And some games definitely to watch out for and watch. Nigeria versus Cameroon. Morocco versus South Africa. Senegal versus the Ivory Coast. So I really think down to these games, it will decide the whole tournament. So please make sure to watch the African nations because it's now in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then of course, finals. And now moving on to some very serious news. The footballer Quincy Promz could be going to jail for 9 years for importing drugs. Of course, this is a massive update on all the charges. The alleged footballer imported 1,362 kilos of cocaine. And that's literally worth up to 260 million US dollars of drugs. But of course, Promz denies any association with the drug importation, with evidence saying that encrypted messages actually point to Promz and having a whole managerial role in the drug importation. But alongside with the drug charges, the player has been in another lawsuit. Last year sentenced to 1.5 years in prison for stabbing his cousin in a family event, which Promz appealed against this, and there is a civil case against him from the same cousin. But Promz is literally going to be untouchable after you hear this. By moving to Moscow in Russia, as long as he's there, he's inaccessible to the judiciary. In the meantime, he's trying to get a Russian passport to permanently avoid the charges. So they will not be able to proceed with any of it until he literally leaves Russia. So Promz is having the time of his life playing football in Russia. Eden Hazard, who famously kicked this ball boy, but they took over a decade to make up, and it finally They played some golf and some chess and even had drinks together. So at least they don't have any bad blood. But apart from that, guys, I will see you guys in the next one.